Hey y'all, cheers. How was your day? You want to hear about mine? Okay, I'm gonna try so hard to keep this short. You can ask my friends in the group chat. They just got like probably 30 minutes total of voice messages from me, but I wrote out notes so that I can make this as short and sweet as possible. I didn't want to type all this out. Screw it, I'm not doing it. Here's the story. There will be pictures to follow. I will put the most sensitive pictures at the end so you can skip those if you don't want them. Would that pique your interest? All right. Buckle up, let's go. And by the way, all I can focus on right now at 12:37 a.m. is my mustache. So please don't comment on it and don't look at it. Although now you're probably focusing on it too or whatever, but I don't know. It's like 52, it sucks. Things like that start happening. I don't know what to do. If you have any tips, let me know. Because it's not like hair. It's just like the pore. I don't know what it is. Anyway, that's all I can see now. But that's not the point of this. The point of this is I'm supposed to be in the Poconos right now. And instead, I'm sitting in my kitchen having a glass of wine. Today was day one of a group annual trip. We picked the Poconos. There's a nice Airbnb in the Poconos. Full of people right now. Everybody except for me and Olive. So we had some car trouble today. Want to hear about it? Yeah, I know you do. Okay, first, quick shout out to my friend Melissa because this annual trip is really nice. It's with her college friends, not my college friends. These are not my original friends. They're my friends now. But she extended the invite to me and Olive, and we became a duo. To join in. So we had a trip to go to, and this is the third annual trip that I have been involved in. I am so grateful to be a part of it. So shout out to Melissa. So typically, as I do, running around all morning, trying to get out the door. We wanted to leave by noon. We left at like 3. And I had 10,000 steps. Like just from packing the car and running around and doing all the things this morning that I probably should have done last night, but didn't want to. Okay. So we finally get on the road and, I checked, I sent the text say like when we finally, we got on the road, then we had to stop here, stop there, stop there. Okay. On the turnpike, ready to go, 3:45 p.m. ETA, 5 o'clock. We're on our way. Yay. We get on the Northeast Extension. We're going, we're good. We're more than halfway there. We were 42 minutes away from our destination. We had already been on the road for 56 minutes. And all of a sudden, I can't accelerate my car. Like, wait, what's happening? I'm supposed to be going 70. I'm not going 70 anymore. It just felt weird. I'm pushing down on the accelerator. The speedometer is going this way. The tachometer, RPMs, are going this way. I'm like, something wrong, right? It accelerates all the way down to 60. And in that time from 70 to 60, I'm assessing things, I'm in the right lane. I'm looking to see where I can pull over, pull the car over. Luckily, Melissa has a equally as kind and wonderful friend, husband, Chris, who knows everything about cars. So I call him and I'm like, hey, so I'm on my way, trying to get there. Everyone else is there. They're checked in. They're good. Because we're so late. God, shout out to Chris for being a wonderful resource to me because I don't know cars for shit. What do I do? Here's the situation, so we assess, turn the car off and on because, that's the first thing you do. And I thought maybe it's a fluke, car, I have power, everything's good. The car turned back on fine. Let's try going, merging back into traffic. He stays on the phone with me. Everything's good. All right. Maybe I'm going to be okay. Accelerate past 65, same thing happens. I'm like, all right, pull back over again. I have AAA. I'll call them, and go from there and then try to determine. Now we're kind of brainstorming all the things. He says, I think that sounds like transmission. It makes me a little nervous. Let me do some research, see what's going on. And, at this point, I'm thinking, can we make it there? Can I make it there and get the car to a mechanic up there in the Poconos on Monday and not worry about whatever? We call AAA, see what my options are, etc. Right? Call AAA. Well, guess what? They don't come out to the Pennsylvania Turnpike. Not their jurisdiction, right? So they immediately transfer me over to the Pennsylvania Turnpike Commission. Fun fact there. When I was trying to get a human being on the AAA line, you're at that part where they're like, please enter the year of your car. I'm like, 2018. Please say the name of the model. But it kept like cutting out because it thought it heard something from my car. So the lady wasn't finishing what she was saying. And Olive was asking what was going on. And I was like, oh, this is so frustrating. And then finally the automated voice comes back on and says, I'm sorry, I cannot find any information for a 2018 frustrating. Yeah, that's how I feel. That would be the name of the story. That would be the title of the story, 2018 frustrating. At which point I just started screaming representative and eventually talked to somebody who then chose me as Turnpike Commission. Turnpike Commission says, okay, we can send out a tow truck. And I'm like, okay, but I have questions. Like, is that going to cost me money? How does it work with AAA? Oh, no, talk to the tow truck driver. Everything will be fine. Okay, great. So I wait. Tow truck driver arrives. I find out that, yes, it will cost me money because I have AAA Classic, not AAA Plus, and it does not cover towing for free at all. It gets me a tow truck, but I have to pay for it. $4.50 a mile on the Turnpike, $7 a mile off of the Turnpike. At this point, I had already talked to Chris. We have determined that there was a known issue in Nissan Sentras with the transmission, so much so that they extended the manufacturer's warranty on the transmission from, I forget how many years, to 7 years. 2018 plus 7, 2025, of course. So I'm a year past that. But he says, listen, it's worth talking to your dealership about. Maybe we can, beg and plead and they'll still honor it or whatever. But I think the best bet at this point is just get the car back to the dealership where you bought it in Jenkintown. Okay? Not going on vacation today. Accept that, move on, next task at hand, get safely back to Jenkintown, figure out the next thing next, right? Okay, tow truck driver comes, and so I realize immediately, certainly can't pay $7 a mile for him to tow me from Allentown back to Jenkintown. So he says, listen, this is what I would do. I would tow you off let's get you off the Turnpike, right? Because dangerous, side of the road, lots of cars swing by, whatever. I know the next exit, it's about X number of miles up, and there's a gas station. I thought everything would be closed, but I can safely drop you off there. And then you can assess whether if the car's running, you might want to try and just drive it home. And if anything happens at that point, you can call AAA and they'll come out because then you're not on the Turnpike. And I'm like, that sounds like a good plan. And then he says, or if your car is running, you could refuse the tow service, but you pay a service fee of $72 for having me come out and stand here and talk to you about it. We did the math. It would have been more than $75 for him to tow me off of the next exit and drop me off at a gas station. So I was like, I'm good, thanks. Signed some stuff, paid him $72, and he almost left, but he didn't leave before Olive did ask him if he wanted to attend the funeral for the deer carcass, the dead deer that was right next to where I pulled over, which he had noticed out her car window while all this was going on. Poor dead deer carcass. That would be the pictures that I'll put at the end, because I documented it. I did. So what we could see, like, I was kind of looking, I was like, what are you talking about? And it's kind of like the legs, like sticking out, whatever. So the wonderful tow truck guy, CJ, kind of laughed and said, no, I'm good, thank you. So he left, and she said, well, can we have a funeral for the deer? And I said, of course. At this point, we're not going to get into vacation. So my kid wants to send off that deer with a prayer and some good vibes, even though it probably died weeks ago from the look of it. It's very flat. Absolutely, we'll make that happen. So we get out of the car. We look over. We can see more of the deer now. She's like, I wonder if it has antlers. And I was like, you know what? If it has antlers, that'd be a pretty cool souvenir of today, right? Like, I mean, nobody else needs them. They're not doing anything. It's not hurting the deer. Like, if it has antlers, I'm taking the antlers. It did not have antlers, but when we got a closer look, it had a lot of cool bones. And I was like, you know what? That'd be so super cool. I'm like, kiddo, do you want a vertebrae? She's like, hell yeah, I want a vertebrae. I'm like, let's get a vertebrae. I'll take it back to Briar Bush Nature Center. We can, have them tell us all about it and how to clean it and sanitize it and all that. And then you'll have a cool souvenir of today. We did, by the way, before having this conversation, have a nice prayer and send off to the deer heavens and back to Mother Earth for the deer carcass. And then I scrounged around in my trunk, found a plastic bag, and realized when we went to pick up the deer vertebrae that I thought was just one vertebrae attached to the whole freaking spine, but the whole spine came off the rest of the carcass really nicely. So we have a deer spine now. Put that in the bag, tied it up, threw it in the trunk. Woo! Doesn't smell very good. And went on our way to this gas station that CJ had told us about. He was kind enough to put it, the GPS coordinates or address in my phone, which, by the way, fun fact, was dying. I realized at some point during all of this that the charger, adapter in my cigarette lighter that the phone cord plugged into wasn't connected exactly. So this whole time that we had been driving and pulling the power down to use the GPS and Spotify, it was not charging at all. So my phone was at 19%. So I was like, oh, okay, quick, let me do that. Let me jiggle it. Okay, whatever. And then we see the deer, this, that, and the other. And I'm looking at the phone and I'm like, it's 17% now. It's 15% now. It's 12% now. Why isn't this getting more? It had a little chargy thingy and everything was plugged in correctly. I unplugged it. I plugged in a brick that I had brought for a vacation and that was working correctly. And that didn't work either. We're going to go to that gas station that we talked about, but we pulled off and realized that we could stop anywhere we wanted. And then she wanted dinner. So she wanted to McDonald's. I said, sure, let's go to McDonald's. GPS, there was only 2 more minutes or so down the road. So we pull into McDonald's with 1% on my phone. Thank God we got the kiddo a phone for her 5th grade graduation. So I'm like frantically transferring any important information or numbers that I need from my phone to her phone so I could use her phone. I'm texting people who are checking on me saying, my phone's dying, switching to all phone, etc. But I grabbed a plugger inner and grabbed the cord and taken to McDonald's with me. Long story short, went to McDonald's. I'm like, you know what? We're going to reset. We're going to breathe. We're just going to take a moment. Got her dinner, plugged in my phone, charged perfectly with the plug in the wall. So I just left that, racking up some juice. Called back to Chris, gave the, update to all that. In the meantime, he had done some research and found out, more about this issue. He's like, yeah, I 100% agree. You need to just get yourself back to the dealership. And I need to tell you, you're looking at up to a $10,000 repair on this transmission, if it is what we think it is. So at that point, you need to decide if you're going to repair this or get a new car. As you all know, I have not worked in a year and almost a half. I can't afford a $10,000 repair. I can't afford a new car. You know what? Don't know the answers to those questions yet. Leaving it in the universe's hands and putting that off. That is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday's problem, right? We'll deal with that later. But he's, starting to get me mentally prepared for that. He has graciously agreed to be on the phone with me on Monday to talk to the dealership, and perhaps we could, talk them into honoring that warranty and fixing this. So please, y'all, send up your prayers and your good vibes to the Faulkner, Nissan, in Jenkintown. All right, bought my car from them, love my car. It only has 58,000 miles on it. Like, it's not a, a rundown car. I just had it in for an oil change. They give it a once over, a month ago. Everything was fine. Like, oh my God, I can't believe this. So let me consult my notes. Okay. So we set off. He agrees that it's safe to drive it at low speeds. I go home via 309 for those of you in the area. So it's mostly, lights and traffic. It turns into an expressway here and there for a little bit. I just kept my flashers on and didn't go above 60 for the whole ride to Jenkintown. Called my dad. Dad met us in Jenkintown. Had to take all the luggage because I packed my entire freaking life to go on this trip. Everything out of the car, from my car to my dad's car. I had thought to myself before I left for the trip, you know what? I don't usually do this, but let me take my spare keys with me because I don't like the thought of going on vacation or only having one set of keys if you lock your keys in your car. So I was like, oh, how convenient. I have this other spare set of keys to leave in the overnight drop box, So I did all that, filled out the paperwork. They're like, check off what's wrong. I was like, call me immediately Monday morning, suspected transmission problem. Dropped it in the drop boxy thingy, moved all the traffic over, went to lock my car and leave. I don't have my keys, my original keys. Apparently the whole time I've been driving my car, The only reason it was working was because I had my spare keys in my pocket because I thought to grab my spare keys. So now my phone possibly has a problem. My car has a problem. And I don't know where my freaking car keys are. Searched everything, did all the things. I was like, they're probably in my house. Maybe I was like, I knew that yesterday I had taken them off their spot in my purse and attached them to my water bottle when I went goat hiking. And I'm so strict about like certain things, like in their place, always in their place. And my keys are only ever in one of two places, on the carabiner on my water bottle or attached to my wallet. And I knew I must have taken them off the carabiner and not placed them back in my wallet at some point last night. Looked kind of through everything. I was like, you know what? They must be in the living room somewhere. I don't know. So worry about that later. So, anybody who sees this tonight, don't go break into my car over at Faulkner Nissan sitting outside the service bay. Thanks. I do have good news though. On the way home, my phone did start charging. Don't know why. It juiced up in the McDonald's, and when I plugged it back in the car on the way home, everything was fine. And by the way, car was great on the way home too. I kept it below 60, like I said, but RPMs never went up too high. Acceleration, never went down. It didn't feel bad, everything. This car. So I get home around 10:15, 6.5 hours after we left the house for the 1 hour and 20-minute drive to vacation. Look around my living room. Then we had to, okay, what do I need to bring in overnight? The rest of the stuff staying in my dad's trunk. My dad went home with all the vacation stuff, but we did come inside and search around for the keys. Couldn't find them anywhere in my house. And then thank God it clicked. And I realized that I had a backpack with me on the goat hike last night. And I must have at some point taken them off the carabiner and just tossed them in my backpack instead of putting them in my purse. I don't know why. And the backpack was packed in my trunk. And thankfully, that was one of the things that I had taken out and brought in the house with me. So I was easily able to go over to the backpack, empty it out, found the car keys. So that's one thing that was good. So what vacation? Like, are we saving vacation? Like, what's happening? And I have to give the biggest shout out and cheers in the freaking world to this wonderful group of friends who, while I was freaking out and trying to figure out all of these details and take care of Olive and keep us safe and get her fed and honor the deer and all of these things. At some point in that story, Chris told me, hey, don't worry about tomorrow. We got you a rental car. They all chipped in and they took care of the logistics, which was that's worth its weight in gold right there. I didn't have to worry about it. I checked my email. I had a confirmation. Pick up your rental car tomorrow at 9 a.m. at Elkins Park. So, what a weight off my shoulders. So my dad is picking us up in the morning and driving us past the dealership first so I can go beep, beep, and lock my car. Then over to the rental car place where they can then take everything out of his car. Hopefully it all fits in the rental car because y'all know I overpack. And then we will be on our way back on vacation. But what about the deer spine, you may ask? I'm sure you're wondering, right? Of course. I didn't want to leave it in the trunk for like 5 days because I'm not coming home till Wednesday from vacation. God knows what it would smell like, right? When I picked up my car / surrendered my car / I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen with my car. So I transferred it from my trunk to Dad's trunk and then took it out of Dad's trunk. And when I got home, I just tossed it on the deck. So deer spine on the deck. Pictures following this video. Can skip if you want. And I will deal with that when we get home. Vacation is over on Wednesday, so I have the rental car till Wednesday night, afternoon. And then what car I will have from there, stay tuned. But cheers. And, I would say I hope your day was better than mine, but I hope your day was as good as mine. I hope your day was filled with support and a safety net and safety and resources and family. I may not be working. I may not have, more than $17 in my bank account. I think that was a couple days ago. I might be a little bit better right now. But I have the most amazing, amazing village that I never take for granted. And I work hard every single day. Be intentional, guys. said this before in my post. You have to work at friendship. All right? You have to work at it. Call your friends, write your friends, check in, make those connections. It's so important. And I have put my friends first my entire life, and the universe is shining that karma back on me today. And I could not be more grateful and just feel more held up and supported and loved than I do today. And I also want to give a huge shout out to Olive. My God, she was like crazy when I picked her up, ADHD off the charts. I don't know what clicked. She was calm. She never once whined, never once complained. I had to say to her, kiddo, we're not going to make it. You're not going to see your friends, that you only see once a year. We got to turn around and go home. And I don't even know if we're going to make it to vacation at all. And she, was just a doll. We had fun. I'll show you the pictures. We had 4 side quests today. I was like, you know what? This is our journey. Our journey was to get to vacation. But now we're on a side quest. Side quest number 1, get to safety. Side quest number 2, get to the McDonald's. Side quest number 3, I forget how I broke it all up, but we completed all our side quests today, and we will rest and recharge tonight and continue on our adventuring party tomorrow. Good night, y'all.